All right, the Monday, October 6, 2025 City of Vandalia Council meeting is now called to order. We'll begin with a moment of reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Council, you had an opportunity to review the council study session meeting minutes along with the council meeting minutes of September 2nd. Are there any comments or corrections? Being none, they stand approved. We have no communication petitions or awards, nor do we have a public hearing. And that brings us to comments from interested citizens. So if anyone would like to make a comment, please come to the podium, clearly state your name and address for the record and your comment. We further ask that those who speak follow the etiquette of communicating with respect to others. And as a courtesy, please try to stay on topic with your statements while you address council. And as a reminder, this is not a forum for arguments or debates. In an effort to give all citizens an opportunity to express their thoughts and concerns, we ask that you keep your comments as brief as possible and limit them to 5 minutes. And as a courtesy, we'd like to ask that you not repeat what someone else has already said. So just bring new information that you want us to have. So with that said, if anyone would like to make a comment, please come to the podium.
Good evening. Mark Fernelius, 1232 Bramley Court. Thank you, council members, as well as the other members of the City of Vandalia team for your hard work and dedication to the City of Vandalia. Vandalia is certainly a wonderful place to live. One example is the recently updated parks, which I think are a wonderful addition to the community. This evening, I'm here to voice my opposition to Ordinance 25-22, which is a proposed development on Mulberry Road. Stepping back and taking a high-level look at the proposed development, it's just in a really awkward location for development, and the development is certainly being forced into a location where there really should not be a development. Many residents have voiced their opposition to this development. My main concern is the increased traffic that it will bring along Mulberry Road and the lack of the necessary infrastructure here. 3 years ago, this same development plan was presented to the City Council. The traffic and safety along Mulberry Road was one of the main concerns that was one of the main concerns at that time, and one of the reasons that the plan was rejected at that time. Nothing has changed along Mulberry Road, and with Mulberry Road being a very narrow and winding road, there is not the infrastructure there to support this development. Additionally, straightening and widening this road will be a significant cost to the city going forward. So in summary, Ordinance 25-22 should be rejected due to the insufficient infrastructure to support the development. This development is certainly not in the best interest of the city, so please listen to the voices of the residents and reject Ordinance 25-22. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Mark.
My name is James Test. I'm at 1228 Greystone Circle. And about 10 days ago, I emailed each and every one of you council people about my concerns about this. And I'm telling you, without repeating what the gentleman just stated to you, traffic, and safety. It isn't that I dislike the architecture of the condos. I'm not crazy about them, but it's safety, and the traffic. And if you go down, if any of you ever traveled Mulberry, you've got to have traveled all the way toward Dixie. And there's an S-turn down there that is dangerous. If you doubt my word, please go down and drive that Mulberry down to that S-curve. That curve goes, and it sits up about 300, 400 feet off of Dixie. The other thing is, with the traffic of that condo complex, it generates, you got 87 condos, you know there's going to be 2 people to drive from each condo. That's almost 174 new vehicles, not counting if they got kids and driving, they're driving. Think about FedEx delivering packages, UPS, food, somebody delivering pizzas, and a shortcut to get to that place is right through my god darn street of Greystone Circle, because they're not going to go all the way down there to Mulberry off of Dixie. They're going to come right up to Stone Quarry and cut right on through to their destination down there on Mulberry. That ain't right. And there's none of you who would want this complex built in your neighborhood. I know that. Last time this thing was defeated, it was 4-3 vote. I can almost feel comfortable saying there's about 3 of you that are going to vote against it. And there's 4 of you that may be leaning toward voting for it. I'm looking, one of you 4, I'm hoping, will swing your vote to turn down this project. I want to thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Hey, Ted Grady, 1214 Greystone Circle. I would have gone first because I had this eloquent list of things, but everybody's already taken the good ones. So just wanted to point out that the lot size for this development is going to be 1/10 of an acre. That's approximately half the size of the current lots in Copperfield and the other developments across Mulberry. So my main concern is that by putting smaller, less expensive homes there on smaller lots, you're going to decrease the value of my property. And when I invested in that property in Vandalia, that was the type of neighborhood I wanted. I didn't want a neighborhood that's going to become busy with cars cutting through. So that's one thing I'm asking you to consider. I don't know that I'm necessarily against the development of the property, but I'd like to point out to the city that there's other major cities in the United States like New York, Chicago. They value green space. I mean, they have huge parks, and you know that there's people wanting to develop those quite badly, but they maintain the value of green space. And I would encourage you to think about people having individual green space around their house and going with larger properties that are commensurate with the properties that already exist in Copperfield and the other developments along the line there. But as I mentioned earlier, I mean, it's a national average of 1.8 cars per house. So that's not just something somebody made up. You can Google it and you can look at other different references, and that you're talking about 2 cars per house. These houses are only going to have 1-car garage. So you're going to have a bunch of street parking, which is going to affect snow removal in that area. So that's another impact to the city, snow removal, having to widen Mulberry Road. These are impacts to the city if you want to look at the city's viewpoint, but if you want to look at your residents' viewpoint, it's also the traffic and stuff that has been mentioned. So I would just encourage the city not to just cram a bunch of houses into this area to increase their tax income. I just would, if you stayed with keeping like commensurate sizes of the current Copperfield and surrounding neighborhoods, you'd avoid traffic impacts to Mulberry, students overcrowding the Butler school system, and you would allow homeowners to beautify their own spaces and still maintain a green space within the city for individual property owners. Thank you.
My name's Thomas Witt. I live at 3940 Mulberry Road. That address is the first curve off Dixie. I walk the dog every morning and every afternoon. To get through the curve there, it can be exciting. And what I would tell you is that we right now have a rural road. You put in another 90 homes down at the other end, particularly not at the same value maybe of what Copper and Asbury and others have. That's another issue of doing it. But we don't have sidewalks. We're not a stone quarry. The next road over is a totally different freeway of getting down the road. And what I would tell you is that we are rural, and you will ruin it if you vote ahead to put 97 more homes down there. There's no way around it that this is going to be a mess. My wife says to me about once a week, when will they come and put a bump out in front of our house so that the speed limit can be controlled in some way. We don't need any more of this. We need to stop right now and leave this as a rural road. You either got it or you don't, and that's the way it should be. Thank you for your time and your hopeful vote.
Thank you.
Don Hutchison, 1058 Bristol. Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'm here to speak on a different issue. I came to your offices last week to present an issue to Ben about a sign that is relative to the bike path on Brown School Road. There's a gentleman who's quite elderly and dealing with a lot of issues, and of all things, I was pointed out that this is a right-of-way and that really not too much can be done. It's a sign that has a bicycle and it says may use full lane. This gentleman is in his 90s and he's had some other issues, and when they put that sign out there, they didn't really go about it in the right way. They never notified him. This gentleman has been cutting that yard for 60 plus years, and he is of a nature of things when you're of that age in your mid-90s, it aggravates you, and then something like this just arbitrarily thrown in there. And Ben said that there is a requirement about the visual acuity that you have to be able to see that sign to properly direct you, and I find that kind of capricious. And that one time there was a gentleman when I was involved with the Board of Zoning Appeals that wanted a sign on his property on Poe Avenue that people who would come to their office would be directed to a body shop back on their car lot, and that their sign was going to be way over what the amount of square footage would be allowed, and the people on that property would only be going 5, maybe 8 miles an hour. And he wanted a sign that had letters that were almost a foot tall or more, and yet within a stone's throw away of his property, there's people that from all over the nation come up and down Route 75 and 70 area, and they're going 75 miles an hour, and they're expected to read signs that are only 6-inch high letters. Now, I cannot understand how this sign, which is very troublesome for this gentleman, if you wait till you get to be 95 and then you recently have some very traumatic things that happen in your life, that they just come and put that in there, and it just leads to more aggravation. And like, you know, I asked Ben if he could check this out, and there is a utility pole that's right there that could point that towards West Hafer, where they want you to go back on North Brown School if you don't want to go where they're doing all the work on National, up past Bunkers and uptown. It would be a very nice thing if this sign could be taken out of that man's yard, because he likes to cut his yard with a riding lawnmower that he's been going with for years. And I don't see how somebody on a bicycle is not going to know that another 20 feet, if it's that much, down on that utility pole has that sign. All up and down Brown School and all throughout Vandalia, I've been looking. The city has all kinds of signs on utility poles, so it isn't like there's an issue with Vectren or AES, or CenterPoint Energy about their poles, you know. So I thank you for your time, and if you could possibly consider helping this gentleman out.
And, tell me again, where exactly is this?
68 North Brown School, right on the corner of Halifax. He just lost his wife of 74 years, and he has other things that are going on, and this was just like the straw that broke the camel's back. It wouldn't do anything. I mean, like I say, if you're going that slow on a bike, instead of me looking here, I look over in that corner where that camera's at. I mean, there's not that much difference. It's not like I'm going 75 miles an hour on the highway. Thank you for your time.
This may be more of a question for Mr. Borton, but I'll address it to you.
Yes, I have presented it to him, and
Okay.
thank you.
Has staff looked into that as far as any other options for this particular sign? I mean, I haven't seen it, so
I'm not familiar with the particular sign, but we can take a look at it as, and it's
Just-
likely part of the bikeway improvement project, so.
did you want to say something, Ben?
So the sign in question, there is two there on North Brown School, and they're tried to be equally spaced on the roadway. The power pole he's referencing is actually about 120 feet farther down the road. There's one that is closer, it's about 20 feet, but that's at the corner of Halifax and North Brown School, and it's right at the corner. That if we put a sign on it, would be an issue with the sightline distance for when you pull up to the stop sign to see if you're clear both ways. You'd probably have to pull farther into the intersection, which we don't want to encourage. So I wasn't a part of the team when they did the design, but that's what it looks like their rationale for why they had chose the location. And the location that's at the corner of West Hafer would be at the end of that share row area. So it would kind of defeat a little bit of the purpose of making sure motorists know that the bikes are allowed to use the full width of the roadway. We did not look into changing the sign to have an arrow on it. I don't know if it has enough room on that sign, or we'd have to have the sign remade. But we can look at that. That's what council and everyone wants.
Was the gentleman asked if the sign could be put in his yard?
Well, the sign was placed in the right of way. It's in the tree lawn, so that grass between the sidewalk and the roadway, which is our roadway for putting signage. And on the other corner of Halifax, he has the stop sign there that he already mows around. So this one's just on North Brown School, basically a kind of catty corner to it. But no, I don't believe he was probably talked about when they did the design. They usually don't because there's a lot of signage for that project, but in general you don't usually ask, because if we don't have it there, it means it's in front of someone else's yard. So unfortunately, but if the wish of council, we can look at trying to find other options and other changes to that.
All right,
Can't-
and maybe contact the owner too, and
Okay.
see what possible solutions we can come up with, and maybe he has an idea.
Okay, will do.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, would anyone else like to make a comment? I was just getting ready to move on.
Rick Ford, 1616 Ashworth Drive. Over the last few months, you guys have had a lot of controversial things to decide. And there were some compromises, I believe, made for across from Foxfire, that place. Lots of back and forth about the design, size of the lots, those things, values of properties. Life's full of compromises. Maybe this is time we can compromise. We gave a little that way. Maybe we compromise with the Mulberry and not go that way. And what I'm saying is the lower price range homes, condos, smaller lots, that kind of thing. That's just what I was thinking when I was sitting back there. Maybe we could go back and forth a little bit here. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Rick. All right, is there anyone else who'd like to make a comment? All right, we will move on then. All right, next item is the city manager's report. Mr. Aldhouse.
Thank you, Your Honor. A couple information items we have tonight for everyone. Leaf collection began on October 6th and will continue until December. The leaf pickup schedule is on the city's website. Leaves must be raked into the street, and leaves on the grass behind the curb will not be picked up. In areas without curbs, leaves must be placed immediately along the edge of the pavement. Crews will not collect leaves piled more than 1 foot away from the edge of the roadway. The City of Vandalia is offering Vandalia residents free large debris drop-off from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Public Works Garage, including acceptance of yard brush. Proof of residency is required. This will be the final free large drop-off for 2025, and that will occur this coming Saturday, October 11th at the Public Works Garage. The Vandalia Fall Festival will occur on Saturday, October 11th as well. This will be held at the Vandalia Sports Complex from noon to 6 p.m. There will be live music, food trucks, a pumpkin patch, corn pit, vendors, inflatables, games, arts and crafts, and more. Entry is free and all ages are welcome. And then finally, the 2026 budget workshops. Council has established 2 budget workshops to be held in the basement of the municipal building. Budget workshop number 1 will be held on Tuesday, October 14th, 2025 from 4 to 7 p.m. Budget workshop number 2 will be held on Monday, October 20th, 2025 from 4 to 6 p.m., breaking for the study session and council meeting, and then returning to the budget workshop after the council meeting if needed.
All right, thank you. Next, we have a couple of action items where we have some boards and commission appointments.
Yes, we do. Our first board and commission appointment is Laura Rohde with the Vandalia Arts Council. Is Laura here? There you are. If you want to stand up, Laura. So at October 6th council meeting, you'll be asked to consider the appointment of Laura Rohde to the Vandalia Arts Council. A memo from Deputy Clerk of Council Swartz. Ms. Rohde's application to the Vandalia Arts Council roster included in the council packets. Thank you for your interest in serving on the Arts Council. Appreciate it. And our second one is Marcus O'Brien to the Vandalia Planning Commission at the October 6th meeting. You'll be asked to consider the appointment of Marcus O'Brien to the Vandalia Planning Commission. A memo from Deputy Clerk of Council Swartz, Mr. Bryan's application, and the Vandalia Planning Commission roster included in your council packets.
All right, can I have a motion to appoint Laura Rohde to the Vandalia Arts Council?
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilman Lewis and a second by Councilwoman Forrest to approve Laura Rohde to the board, or the Vandalia Arts Council. All right. Get it out. Call the roll?
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Avalotis Weaver,
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blakesley,
Yes.
Mayor Hurt.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. Marcus O'Brien couldn't be here tonight, so we will swear him in prior to the next Planning Commission meeting minutes. We have no old business, and that brings us to our first resolution.
Mayor, we still need to vote.
You
We still
did-
need to vote on him.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Lewis and a second by Vice Mayor Blakesley to appoint Marcus to the Planning Commission. Call the roll?
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Avalotis Weaver,
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blakesley,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. Moving on, we have no old business, and that brings us to our first resolution of the evening, that being Resolution 25-R-42. Mr. McDonald, by title only.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a debt collection agreement with the Ohio Attorney General's Office for the collection of delinquent tax debt.
Thank you. Mr. Aldhouse?
Thank you, Your Honor. This resolution authorizes the City of Vandalia to partner with the Ohio Attorney General's Office and enter into a debt collection agreement for the collection of delinquent income tax balances due.
All right, thank you. Can I have a motion?
I move that we approve Resolution 25R42 as presented.
Second?
I have a motion by Councilwoman Forrest and a second by Councilwoman Dugan to approve Resolution 25-R-42 as presented. Are there any comments or questions from council? Call the roll?
Councilmember Avalotis Weaver,
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blakesley,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. Next, we have Resolution 25-R-43.
A resolution approving a financial contribution to the Vandalia Development Corporation.
Thank you. Mr. Aldhouse?
Thank you, Your Honor. Staff is proposing for City Council to consider a resolution to authorize a contribution to the Vandalia Development Corporation to provide incentives for economic development.
All right, thank you. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve Resolution 25R43.
Second.
I have a motion by Vice Mayor Blakesley and a second by Councilwoman Forrest to approve Resolution 25-R-43 as presented. Are there any questions or comments? Call the roll?
Councilmember Dugan,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Avalotis Weaver,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blakesley,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. We do have one ordinance in its first reading, that being ordinance 25-24.
An ordinance amending the City of Vandalia Park and Recreation fee schedule.
Thank you. Mr. Aldhouse?
Thank you, Your Honor. At the September 15th council study session, Recreation Director Alicia McCracken provided information to City Council relating to Parks and Recreation Department fees for the Vandalia Recreation Center and Vandalia Senior Center. She provided a historical breakdown, cost recovery analysis, and recommendations to update user fees for Vandalia Recreation Center and the Vandalia Senior Center.
All right, thank you. Can I have a motion?
I make a motion to, for 25-24 in the first reading.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Dugan and a second by Councilwoman Fairst to approve ordinance 25-24 in its first reading. Are there any questions or comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst.
Yes.
Councilmember Evelos Weaver.
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blakesley.
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. Next, we have ordinances in their second reading, the first one being ordinance 25-22. Mr. McDonald?
An ordinance approving a planned unit development, preliminary development plan, and associated zoning map change on land generally located at 3330 Mulberry Road.
Thank you. Mr. Aldhouse?
Thank you, Your Honor. The applicant, DDC Management, requests a planned unit development and preliminary plan for the property located at 3330 Mulberry Road. The proposal includes rezoning the 11.36 acre parcel from agricultural to PUD for planned unit development. If approved, the property would be developed with 87 new townhomes. On August 26, 2025, the Planning Commission voted 3-0 to recommend approval.
All right, thank you. And since this is an ordinance in its second reading, I'll open a public hearing, so if anyone would like to comment on this particular ordinance, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and in an effort to give all citizens the opportunity to express their thoughts, we ask that you keep your comments as brief as possible and limit them to 5 minutes. Thank you.
Understood. Good evening, Mayor and members of Vandalia City Council. As you know, my name is Robert Ballinger. I'm an attorney here at Coolidge Wall. Before I begin, I want to apologize if I said anything that has offended members of City Council in the past. The intent was merely to ensure the actions taken by City Council are consistent with the City of Vandalia zoning code, comprehensive plan, and applicable law. I'm here to summarize all the information on the record from the property owners and the developer's perspective. First, the PUD is consistent with the 2020 comprehensive plan, which designates this site as medium-density residential. The medium-density residential designation specifically lists townhomes as an intended use, and therefore the style of development proposed in this PUD, townhome-style multifamily structures, is specifically intended for the property pursuant to the comprehensive plan. The proposed PUD was recommended by staff and unanimously approved by Planning Commission. Second, the proposed development serves a need for the City of Vandalia for owner-occupied market rate workforce housing which appeal to first-time home buyers. Third, the proposed development will not pose any issue with respect to traffic congestion on Mulberry Road, as shown in the traffic engineer's report, which was submitted at the council meeting 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago. And fourth, as discussed, the current zoning classification of agricultural no longer serves the highest and best use of the property. And due to the size and location, the parcel only being 11 acres, the construction of single-family homes is not economically feasible. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to make a comment?
Hi, thanks, folks, for having an open forum discussion. This is about the Mulberry property. A little bit different perspective.
Can you please state your name and address?
I'm sorry, Scott Whitenack, 3430 Mulberry Road. That property's been in my family since 1968, so I can tell you that I've grown up there, been there, and the family still owns it. What I don't want, again, is repeat things that have already been said, but the biggest thing is safety, and then the other issue really is, and I always said medium residential density. That's a lot of folks in a small area. Being adjacent to the property, I mean, we're literally next door to the property. It's already very troublesome to get out of our own driveway at times because of the traffic, mostly morning and evenings, not so much on the weekends. But I just can't imagine what that would be like. As if, obviously there's been, as spoken before, someone did a traffic study pattern. I challenge you to go out there and sit on that road in the mornings or the afternoons and see the danger that's involved with that traffic. And now the road's been widened, which has been almost an appropriation of higher speeds. It is safer as far as the road being wider, but again, the traffic that travels on there, as earlier stated by the gentleman that lives on the opposite end of Mulberry Road, It's much more straight down our end till you get closer to Peters Pike, but it is of very much danger. So it doesn't sound like everybody has made a decision on their vote this evening. I would hope that maybe we could curtail that to possibly not putting high density or medium residency in there and go with more of a subdivision. I understand that, 11, 12, 15, 30 homes, what that would look like, but the adjacent properties across the street, those homes of higher value. The property at 34 to 30 Mulberry Road is a higher property value, and we'd like to see that maintained, okay? But again, I appreciate your time and the open forum. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I'm Mark Fernandez again, 1232 Bramley Court. I just wanted to point out some additional information here in the Ohio Revised Code that allows City Council to also consider the public health, safety, convenience, comfort, prosperity, and general welfare to restrict the location of different buildings. And in this case, I believe that this development is not in the best public health, safety, convenience, comfort, prosperity, or general welfare of our community. And so once again, I recommend that this ordinance be rejected. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to make a comment?
Name is Steve Ash, 1200 Greystone Circle. The only other thing I would add to this is that I know the developers have done a traffic analysis through Mulberry. What they have not done is a traffic analysis that's going to go through the neighborhood of Copperfield. With the entrance, and I believe the entrance and exit point of that development would be right across the street from Headstone, which will cause that traffic to drive right across through the neighborhood to get to Stone Quarry, maybe to make the exit point to go north on Dixie a possibility easier for them. But what that does is increase the traffic in that neighborhood, a lot of children there, and I would say vote no, please, on this development.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else?
Hi, Sarah Becker, 1151 Greystone Circle. My husband and I moved here from Colorado. We lived in a nice little neighborhood, very similar to the Copperfield neighborhood that we currently live in. And we bought a nice, lovely home here in the Vandalia area. We moved here specifically because we liked the city of Vandalia. Well, we could have moved south down by Beaver Creek where everybody goes, oh, that's where you want to live. But we chose Vandalia simply because we wanted to live in a rural community and be in a place where we felt safe. And needless to say, I am a senior citizen, and I would like to be here for the rest of my living days. However, when we lived in Colorado, a similar situation happened. City Council thought, oh, it's a great idea to put in lower income housing right next to the bigger houses. Well, I'll tell you what, our neighborhood went down quickly. It was no longer a rural neighborhood. Oh no, nobody's gonna run through your subdivision and drive right through there. We'll put speed bumps in your subdivision. That will slow everybody down. None of that worked. So I'm gonna implore you, I love going down Mulberry, and he's correct. That little curve, there are people that drive way too fast already. And needless to say, I would implore all of you to sit down there on Mulberry for the next week. Count how many cars go through. See how fast they're going. And yes, I've seen the gentleman walk his dog, and I'm concerned about him every time I go by him. So think about this. I have no problem having houses there, nice little senior citizen houses, maybe with double car garages, but don't put in townhouses, because what's going to happen is everyone's going to cut through Greystone, because that's what happens. Go to these other cities that have done this before and you see what happens. So I'm going to ask you to please vote no, because it's nice to be next to a rural street, and it's nice to see green space. And if you've ever lived in the city of Denver, Colorado, you would want green space. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to make a comment?
Yeah, Don Hutchison, 1058 Bristol. Wasn't this issue up for a different developer about 2.5 years ago on the same parcel?
Yes.
My son lives in that, I think it's called Coppersmith over on the north side where that's gonna go. And my grandkids play over there. And are we gonna have a developer every year, every time you turn around? Everybody has to come in here, fight for it, and then take a breath and feel, oh, we don't have to fight for that, and then they come right back in with their arbitrary, we have a right to come in here and ruin the tranquility of your plat where you and your wife and your children have chosen to grow up in the area that you thought was so tranquil. Seems like we're bombarded every day for somebody to come in here and try to grab a little piece of heaven. And I've said before, and times I've spoke up here, that I lived here all my life, and I tell you what, lately anymore, it's hard to go anywhere in this town because the traffic is just getting horrendous. And everybody who wants to get a development going makes the comments about a traffic study. It's kind of like a lie detector test. People know it's out there, but it has no merit. Nobody gives any credibility to it. And then they want to hang everything they got on that it's not going to affect the safety until it's too late, somebody. And you guys are going to have to live with that if something ends up happening to one of yours or one of mine or some new person that comes in here. Every year or so, we're gonna have to keep fighting this because they want to take and put all them houses there. I don't understand it. I've been up and down Mulberry throughout my whole life. It is a nice street. But yes, understandably, people get going a little fast on it sometimes. It may not be on the side of town where I live, but I have a skin in the game over there with my relatives, and I don't want to see nothing happen to them. And I would say that I would hope you guys would understand that, it's a little bit repetitious to come and keeping in, and here comes another developer, and then here comes his lawyer saying they got the right. Down there on the other side of Foxfire, what makes him think that the people in Vandalia can't afford a house that has all brick? We got money. They don't have to cheapen it up. That's not the kind of community we are. Oh, we'll just put some old vinyl on it or something, and we'll do this or that, but it ain't gonna change the traffic study, and it ain't gonna change the fact that, we can afford nice houses here. We can afford brick. Thank you.
I do have one question for the developer. If you come to the podium. You've done developments like this with this townhome. One of the concerns, it came up here tonight, and we've received countless emails about it as far as, going back to traffic and one-car garage and off-street parking. What's been your experience in the developments that you've done in the past that are similar to this with regards to the parking issue?
For parking, we work with municipality to make sure that we meet whatever municipality we're in, meet their code for parking spaces. That includes in the garage, in the driveway, and on-street parking, that there's enough spaces. All municipalities have codes that dictate how many parking spots you need per dwelling that we would make sure the plan meets as we work through the final development plan with them.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for him while he's here? Or comments? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, one last time. Is there anyone else that'd like to make a comment?
Ted Grady, 1214 Greystone Circle. I guess, and I know you probably can't answer direct questions, but what has changed since last time? If this wasn't a good idea 3 years ago, why is it a good idea now? My other question is, yeah, sure, ordinances probably allow this legally, but what about the common sense test, and what about the impacts on other people that are gonna be impacted by this? I mean, there's a lot of things you can do by the law, but let's maybe think past that and think about the effects on the community and the effects on people, and not just, is this a yes or no, can we do this, you know, based on a legal opinion or a traffic study? So again, I would urge the council to vote no. I don't think people are against development of that land. I'm sure we don't want to see another cement warehouse spring up that no trucks park at, but I would just ask for sensible sized lots that are commensurate with the other lots in that property area. Thank you.
With regard to what has changed, it is essentially the same plan. It was presented to us last time. However, the last go-around, it was rushed on council. We really didn't have time to evaluate it. So we erred on the side of caution and denied it. So that was what changed.
Well, appreciate the opportunity to comment.
All right, thank you.
David Bressman, 4550 Monty. Now, I've been out of it for a while, but that S-curve there has been there forever. And for me, it was way back when it was kind of fun, but is there nothing we can do? I mean, regardless if we put it in or not, could we be permitted to do an adjustment to that so it straightens it out? Regardless.
Well, that's something that's being looked at. We did purchase some additional properties.
Okay.
But there's other things involved there. So long-term, we do realize that is not an ideal situation, especially as we know that Mulberry is going to continue to develop over time.
Okay, thanks.
Unless somebody buys it and just wants to sit on it.
Yeah.
I'm back again. James Test, 1228 Greystone Circle. Can I get either the mayor to respond to this, or is this the last time we're going to deal with this? Or how many more years are we going to, 2 years down the road, are we going to repeat this process? You tell me. It shows up here. All these people come in here and they say the same thing. They're not happy with it, but the last gentleman brought up a very good point. How many times are you going to review this thing?
As many times as an application comes in.
From who?
From whoever decides when they build on that property, whatever they build on that property.
What would have to take place is the comprehensive plan would have to be reviewed and changed, and/or the zoning for that particular property changed. And then whatever building, an application would come per the plans or the zoning code.
Does it have to be a building? And what I'm getting at, why don't you put a goddamn kids' park there? End it all.
It's not our property.
We don't own the property, and a person has the property right.
Well, I thought you guys bought the drugstore down here at the corner of Dixie and National Road. Now, why can't you can pay that kind of money for that property, and you can't for 11 acres? Come on now, you're putting me on.
We're going to get them,
We don't
we're
mean the
planning
best
on getting
interest
the
of-
money back out of that property.
Of the drugstore.
Right.
But buy that property down there at 11 acres. I'm going to let you go, but none of us enjoyed repeating this another couple of years. We got to keep slugging it out. It seems like it all boils down, I guess, one thing: money, money, money. Thank you.
Well, I will disagree with that. I think when we look at our city and we look at the proposals that have been brought to us, it's areas where there's vacant land.
Sure.
There's not much of it left anymore.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as nobody wants it in their backyard.
Mayor, I'm going to put it on your back. I know you got a realty company. You can find somebody to buy that land. You guys,
Who's going to buy it and just sit on it and watch it be a farm field?
yeah, I don't know.
And it's not ours. Again, it's not ours. I mean, would the residents go buy that property just so nothing could happen on it?
Yeah, I was thinking, Ryan in Inverness built Copperfield.
Mm-hmm.
Surely you could find somebody who'd be interested in filling out that 11 acres with a handful of homes, I'll get off of here. By the way, are we going to say yes or no to this tonight for this year?
When we get done with comments.
I deserve that. Thank you.
Thomas Witt, 3940 Mulberry Road. Two gentlemen back, a comment came up about maybe changing the tight S curves that are off of Dixie and seeing that happen. For a couple of reasons, I don't want that to happen. One is I have the house in the corner, and the last thing I want to do is give you, or you take away a quarter or a third of an acre off of my acre lot. I don't want to see that happen. That's part of it. The second part is that if one of you or all of you would love to come any morning of the week, the work week, we'll go and sit in my next door neighbor's driveway. And I'm going to tell you right now, you could get 50 tickets in 2 hours. There's no question in my mind. When they leave the curve where I live, they're full throttle till they go down to the end of the street. And I'm telling you, it is only going to get worse. And if you smooth that thing out, you think they're going to slow down, that is far from the truth. It will be a mess. Right now, when I go to back out of the driveway, I can look and see nobody coming around the curve. I back into the driveway, I put it in drive, and I look up, and there's a vehicle on my bumper. And they're not happy because I've slowed them down now. But my point is, the road is quick right now. You've paved it, you've made it faster, and I don't want to see the curve change. I go on record for that. That's all I can tell you. 3 minutes left.
All right, is there anyone else? All right, we'll close the public hearing. Can I have a motion?
I make a motion to deny ordinance 25-22.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Dugan and a second by Vice Mayor Blakesley to deny ordinance 25-22 in its second reading. Any comments or questions from council?
I have a few comments. In the Planning Commission meeting on September 23rd,
Is her mic on? Can you speak into your mic? I can't hear you.
it's on. In the Planning Commission meeting of September 23rd, Mr. Hames pointed out this development would have a single entrance from Mulberry Road. I understand the applicant requested a waiver for Mulberry Road improvements. The question is whether the road is adequate to carry the traffic that shall result from the new development. I do not believe the road will be adequate to handle the increased traffic load, and I do not agree that there should be only one entrance and exit. If cars are lined up to leave the development in the morning and emergency vehicles need to enter, they will have difficulty. This is a public welfare and safety issue. I agreed with Mr. Plant and Mr. Hussong of the Planning Commission on this item that the road is not adequate. Residents have not only brought up the excessive traffic, but also the noise level created. This would also be a huge issue for your buyers if a noise wall was not constructed to help with the interstate noise. Along with the noise level, residents have also spoken of privacy issues. At the same Planning Commission meeting, Mr. Al Machuca, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, expressed concerns that this development would not provide anywhere for the children of your development to play. This could result in them going out onto Mulberry or into the Copperfield development. This could very well be a safety issue concern for drivers on Mulberry and the children playing. The same code states our purpose for a PUD is a harmonious design among the various elements and uses within the development while mitigating any potential negative impact on surrounding properties. And increased attention to architectural design that will contribute to the overall character of Vandalia. The layout and design are detrimental to the use of both the development and nearby properties because they will result in excessive traffic, noise or vibration, flooding, air or water emissions, objectionable glare, or lack of proper regard for privacy. Mr. Plant of the Planning Commission asked how the units would face. Mr. Bills confirmed that all homes would face toward the internal streets within the development. That means what will be seen from Mulberry Road will be the backs of these units. These units have one garage per unit. A 2 to 3 person group living in one unit will naturally pose parking issues. Parking on the street not only hinders traffic flow for fellow residents, but also often inhibits emergency vehicles from moving where they need to. I would like to make sure that Section 1222.06G of development standards is followed. Adequate off-street parking, loading, and stacking spaces shall be provided in a manner that complies with Chapter 1234 Parking Access and Mobility Standards. Some of the council members that denied this the last time are still here. And I know for a fact that these people are thoughtful, that they were very thoughtful about this first denial, and they're very intelligent. So they see what you're talking about. That's all. Thanks.
Anybody else have any other comments?
I do. First, I would like to thank the Planning Commission for doing their due diligence by reviewing the Copperfield Town Development PUD. I would also like to thank all the citizens who took the time to email each council member, and staff collectively. Many of you articulated well by presenting organized thoughts, which led to your opinion on the matter. Some presented facts, while others presented opinions based on speculative possibilities and emotional conjecture. Hopefully I can dispel one of those myths that some wrote about. The school district did not install trailers at Smith because the schools are overcrowded. They did it because they reorganized the grade structure at each building. According to my source, Smith could not accommodate all the needed classrooms for the grades housed there, therefore reinstalled. That's why they reinstalled the trailers. I digress slightly. Many of you wrote emails expressing your concerns, stating that some of you felt that council was or is being bullied into a decision by the developer by threatening a lawsuit if we did not capitulate to their will by voting yes. Conversely, and I do appreciate Mr. Ballinger's apology and statement in regards to that. Conversely, many have also cited in the same email, which clearly was directly pointed out in a threatening tone, that the potential for legal action from the citizens in the neighboring development by citing Ohio Revised Code 713. I also view this as bullying. Without sounding condescending, I do not take kindly to threatening tones from either side. I do make decisions on whether or not we are going to get sued every time I make a decision. That's not why we're here. If I did that, we wouldn't get anything done. However, there is that possibility if we do not follow procedure as spelled out in our code, as Councilmember Dugan pointed out, there could be possibilities for not following our procedures. That's why we do what we do, why we're up here. That is why we have an analysis or analyze items like this with certain criteria. Regardless of your position or how you stated it, I heard each one of your concerns and your opinions. I did take those into consideration during my decision-making. However, just like the Planning Commission, I and we look at the facts of the matter. I and we gather that pertinent information and weigh all the facts from both sides of the subject. I use, personally, the systematic approach to make my decisions following the criterion based on fact. This takes out the speculative public perception and emotional component of the decision-making. With that said, I concur with my fellow council member Dugan on the 13 criteria as well for the PUD review process or procedures. From my observation, I did not see any substantial or any change at all from the last design. And I am in disagreement with the Planning Commission on item number 11. And furthermore, in my opinion, the layout and building design is a detriment to the current surrounding neighborhood because it should look like and be consistent with, which is single-family homes. Additionally, the layout and design is detriment because of increased traffic on the current road. Thank you.
All right. Is there anyone else who'd like to make a comment? The only thing I would like to add is, a lot of what, Vice Mayor Blakesley said is, and I appreciate all the work that, the Planning Commission put into this, and I certainly appreciate all the comments and the emails that we received on this. There are 13 review criteria that need to be approved in order for this to move forward. And I have to say, I agree with our Planning Commission on their evaluation of this project. All right, is there any other comments? Call the roll.
I do have a comment before calling the roll. The motion is in the negative. We have a even amount of council members tonight. So even before we take a vote, if it is a vote in the negative and it's 3-3, the negative vote failed and we have no resolution, and we're going to have another motion in the positive. If the motion carries negative, then we're done. If the motion goes the other way, say 2-4, we're going to have to revote again. So I wasn't sure if we wanted to proceed in that way, all understanding, or if fully understanding that you are apparently against this, Ms. Dugan. We haven't voted yet, but if you wanted to withdraw that motion and make a motion in the positive so we could take care of it in one vote. But that is totally up to.
And that's
you.
just procedural?
Yes, because it's a motion to deny. So if it's 3-3, the motion to deny did not carry, but we don't have any.
So what might that motion that she would make be?
A motion to approve. And then it would be voted on those merits, and she, of course, could vote to deny. But that way, it would be one vote, and it would be taken care of unless, well, even if it's a 3-3 tie on a motion to approve, it would fail for lack of having a majority.
Okay.
Just remake the motion.
All right. I make a motion to accept ordinance 25-22 in its second reading.
Okay, I was going to ask, are you okay with that?
I'll second
withdrawal?
that for procedural purposes.
Okay. Everybody's clear, so the motion is to accept Okay. And Mary, are you ready for me to call roll?
Call the roll.
Councilmember Fairst.
No.
Councilmember Avalotis Weaver.
No.
Councilmember Dugan.
No.
Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blakesley.
No.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes. And the motion
Failed.
fails.
4-2.
4-2.
Ms. Dugan, thank you for making my life easier. I appreciate that.
It's my lot in life.
All right. All right, next we have ordinance 25-23. Mr. McDonald, by title only.
An ordinance approving a PUD major amendment and revised final development plan for certain parcels in the Foley and National Road Planned Unit Development District owned by Bo Townsend Lincoln.
All right, again, since this is an ordinance in its second reading, we'll open a public hearing. So if you would like to make a comment on this particular ordinance only, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
I'll need to read it first, sir.
All right. You can do it after I get done. Go ahead.
The applicant, Sean Olson of Van Conn, on behalf of Bo Townsend Lincoln, request a major amendment to the Foley and National Road PUD. The proposal would allow for significant structural alterations and a change of use for the property at 55 Foley Drive. If approved, the property would be converted to a new Lincoln dealership. On August 26, 2025, the Planning Commission voted 3-0 to recommend approval.
All right. That's a yes. I'm allowed to open a public hearing now. So if you'd like to make a comment, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and please limit your comments to 5 minutes. All right, we'll close the public hearing. Can I have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move we approve Resolution 2523 in its second reading, ordinance 2523 in its second reading.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Lewis and a second by Councilwoman Farsh to approve ordinance 25-23 in its second reading. Are there any comments or questions from council? Call the roll.
Councilmember Avalotis Weaver.
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan.
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blakesley.
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-0. We have no emergency ordinances. That brings us to reports from boards and commissions, where we've received the Civil Service Commission meeting minutes of August 21st, along with the Planning Commission meeting minutes of August 26th. And that brings us to council comments, and we'll begin this evening with Mr. McDonald.
I like the clock. That's all.
You like the clock?
The clock. I like it. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Althouse.
Just two items. Number one, congratulations to the fire department for having their open house this past Sunday. They had a great attendance, a lot of great activities out there for families. A lot of people from the community were there, so kudos to them for all the work they put into that. And as we're all aware, Dave Arnold has stepped down from the Planning Commission due to some health issues, but we certainly appreciate all of his time and work that he's put into all these years and serving on the Planning Commission and a number of other boards. So we wish him the best in his recovery.
All right, thank
That's
you.
all I
Councilwoman Farst.
I would like to excuse Councilman Follick from any and all meetings this evening,
Second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
and that's all this evening. Thank you.
Is that okay, Jerry? All right, Councilwoman Avalotis Weaver.
I just wanted to thank all of the residents for taking the time to email us and speak and come out. I know that this has been very stressful for everyone involved, and I know that it's important for you to participate because it is your city and we are your representatives. And also, I hope that everybody does take the time to come out to the Fall Festival, and thank the Parks and Rec and everybody that's participating and volunteering and working that. It's always a great time.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Dugan.
Nothing, thank you.
Councilman Lewis.
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
All right, Vice Mayor Blakesley.
Oh, Councilman, he's not here. First of all, thank you for everyone that sent us emails and came out to let us know your thoughts on tonight's big issue. I hope I didn't sound too condescending, but what I was trying to do is make a point that we have followed certain procedures. And sometimes, there's a lot of emotions running through these concerns. And we try, and I try very hard, very, very hard to take that emotion out of it so that we are just dealing with the facts. I think it's great that we can come together and have our opinions and do it in a fashion, in a forum that creates our community and allows us to do what we do in our community. And we all are looking out after our community, and that's the main goal. And that's our goal, and I know that's your goal. You want to keep your neighborhoods nice. We all want to keep the neighborhoods nice. And that's why we're up here. We really do have the outlook for the entire city to look after. There's a lot of neighborhoods, so we have to look at that individually as well. But know that we're not the bad guys sitting here just because of our vote. Because put yourself in our shoes as well. It'd be a very tough decision. So I just want to try to clarify some of that. And with that, appreciate those who step forward to be on our boards and commissions to help us decipher some of the procedures and things that we have in our code, that we rely on those boards as that research. We don't really have time for that research. So that planning commission is strictly looking at the facts. I know many of you had gone to the planning commission and you have those emotions, but they don't look at that emotion. They have to look at what's on the books. And that's a very difficult, sometimes, decision to make. Mr. Hutchinson, you said you've been on the zoning board of appeals. We appreciate your time when you were on there, and there were some tough decisions that you have to make. And so, again, to have citizens step forward to do that is just very appreciative. And I know that I was concerned there for a while that we didn't have too many people on the planning commission, that we weren't going to get people. But certainly appreciate some of those that did step forward and actually voiced the fact that they appreciate being able to do that. So it's a two-way street. So again, thank you.
All right. Thank you. I can say a lot of the same thing, but again, just thanks for everyone that came out tonight and to the previous meetings. We do appreciate hearing your viewpoints and your emails and your thoughts. On another subject, something I'd like to bring up, I believe all the council members received an email possibly today regarding doing a charter review. And I think we've had several items come up this year that would warrant maybe revisiting our charter. So I would like to ask City Council if they would be supportive of putting together a charter review committee to look at some of the areas that have come up recently. And I think the last time we did this was 2014, 2015. So I just wanted to gauge the appetite from City Council if this is something that you guys would like to look into.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's well overdue.
All right. We'll leave that up to Mr. Althouse to get that started. All right. With that said, this meeting is adjourned.